Table Football Monthly? Don't mind if I do.
Table Football Monthly. On the ball from Casdon to Subbuteo. Table Football Monthly. Big team cause we're set up and we're good to go. Yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go.
Hello, and welcome to the March edition of Table Football Monthly. Who would have thought when I introduced the February edition 4 short weeks ago that the world could possibly have changed so much? Now, I'm not qualified to add anything of use to the whole coronavirus debate, and I have no intention of doing so, except to say from Danielle, Smithy and myself to all of you, if you're suffering isolation, anxious about job prospects, or just generally cheesed off with the whole state of affairs, then our thoughts are with you. Let's try and stick together and make the best of it, if only for the next 40 or so minutes. Now, we have managed to put together a packed programme for you today. We are going to be looking at 2 brand new pitches, one from Italian manufacturer Astrobase, and the other from Pegasus. Now, with the Pegasus pitch, we're not just going to be reviewing it. Danielle and I got together on Thursday and filmed ourselves laying the pitch, getting it billiard smooth and crease free, and you might find that rather useful. We're also going to be answering a question we've received several times from people this month. This is chaps who gave up Subbuteo many years ago, have decided to come back to it, which makes us all very happy, but we're asking our advice on what's the easiest way to get started. We've got an item on that today that might provoke a few thoughts. Danielle and I will also be looking at mechanical games featuring Casdon and Chad Valley, amongst others. Now, the one thing that has been affected by the coronavirus is the Subbuteo Challenge. We don't have one this month, but Smithy and I, showing the ingenuity we are renowned for, have created an alternative. This month, he and I will go head to head on the It's a Knockout Coronavirus Subbuteo Challenge special, which is well worth watching, if only to find out how poor we both were at it. So that's just about it, except to say, of course, we have to do the draw for this month's competition. You may recall the prize is this rather wonderful Subbuteo Winter Edition pitch. It's been unbelievable how popular this pitch has been. You won't be surprised to know we've had more entries for the competition this month than ever before. So thanks to everybody for taking the time to enter. Now, because it's been so special, we've decided to use something different and rather spectacular to pull the winning name from. And I have to thank John Lauder for tipping me in the direction as to this item so that I was able to get it. You're going to like that, and you'll see that in just a few seconds. There will also be a brand new competition for this month. So let's get on with it. Best foot forward, let's join Danielle and Smithy for this month's draw.
Last month we asked you to name the club who first installed undersoil heating.
And the answer was Everton at Goodison Park in 1958.
Fab, so what's all this?
Well, it's such a gorgeous prize we're giving away. I've got you this lovely football game.
And how are we getting them out?
Easy go. Turn the key, open the door, do your
I'm
rummaging.
impressed.
Rummage away. Tension mounts.
And the winner is Ulrich Munsterberg.
Well done, Ulrich.
So we've noticed recently there's been many discussions taking place on Facebook and on social media sites about how to lay an Astro pitch.
And we're not talking merely laying, we are talking billiard smooth and flat as a flat thing. So
We're going to lay one right here, right now, live.
we certainly are. We're going to do that without falling out, and we are going to do it with a bit of repositional spray mat. Before we do it, we've got to say a big thanks to Pete and Sandra at Subbuteoworld, as they have sent us a rather sexy new pitch, which you will get to see if we're successful.
Yes. Cheers, Pete.
Now what we're going to do, we are going to use this 3M repositional spray. If you use permanent spray, trust me, it won't be permanent, but it will be exceedingly sticky. And if you try to remove the pitch later, it could stretch. So we're going to give this a little bit of an even grounding. Now the room needs to be ventilated, so we've left the door open. Right, Danielle, pass me the pitch that you're holding.
Shall I go and get it?
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Okay. You'll have noticed this hasn't been choreographed. Right. Excuse me. That's really worked, hasn't it? The ventilation thing. Right. Get it as straight as you can,
Yeah,
but
that's
don't
better.
let it
That's
don't let it
better.
glue itself down.
No, hold on.
Just your bit. Happy?
Yeah.
Right, smooth out. Now, the art of this is I'm going to head back slowly up the other end, and Danielle carefully
From the middle
smooths
out,
as we go.
yeah. Middle out.
Yeah, be careful about bubbles right to the edge.
Okay. If I come round this way.
Yeah. Which that's going down well. Now we promised Pete at Subbuteoworld, who kindly sent us this pitch, that tomorrow we would send him pictures of it lying perfectly flat and billiard smooth. You're doing a good job there, girl. Careful now, all the way. Right. Okay. We're going to do a quick bit of pitch decoration. I think this looks rather splendid.
Yes, not bad for 15-20 minutes work.
Yeah, now admittedly there were two of us, but this is repositional spray, PVC back pitch onto MDF, and as Danielle said, after 15-20 minutes it is lying perfectly flat. Now we're going to leave it overnight so that we can film properly on it tomorrow, because we're going to do a review of this pitch. But I'm not going to put anything on it. No weights, we'll just see what it looks like first thing. But I desperately want to christen the pitch.
Ooh.
How smooth was that?
That was
Well,
great. And we're still
good job,
friends.
us. Well, it's quite early on the morning of Friday, the 20th of March. Danielle and I laid this pitch last night around about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and it's just been left to sit overnight. And barring a couple of specks of dust, I'd say it's looking rather gorgeous. Now last night wasn't particularly cold, but it was cold enough. And this studio is a warehouse unit with no heating. And that is gorgeously flat. Smithy and I do get a little bit psychotic about having our pitches flat, both in the spirit level sense and without any bubbles or creases. And we're going to be playing on this later today, doing a review of the pitch, and that is gorgeous. So, as I promised Pete, I'll get a couple of pictures taken, which I'll share with you, and I think he'll be quite pleased with how that has gone down. Happy days. These are the pictures I sent through to Pete. And he was pretty chuffed with them.
It's really heartwarming to see so many of you coming back to Subbuteo after a really long break.
Like many of us, they've either lost or sold their old kit, and they've been writing to us to find out the best way to start up again.
Keith is about to open this box, which might provide you with the answer.
So, the secrets of your Astrobase starter kit are hidden in this rather small but very attractive box. So we'll release the latches and do our big reveal. There you are. So within this box you have two teams in the heavyweight style, Liverpool and Manchester City. You have your two goalkeepers, which can be attached to these two bases. You have a timer, 4 balls and 2 kicking goalkeepers. Everything you need to get yourself going. So let's lay them out and see what gives. The players look good, though, as you can see, no product markings on the base. The heavyweights in the background are more refined, but the Astrobase players are very nicely finished and carry the all-important washer in the base. Here we have it, everything laid out. All we're waiting for is a kick-off. The players slide beautifully with delicate precision and control, spinning as good as topspin and the old heavyweights. Passing, well, that's more a result of an accurate finger, but the bases deliver confidence via your digit. Not a goal here, but again, player control is easy. And no problem lifting the ball for a tidy finish. This set is definitely worth a try. The only thing to consider is a drop of glue to fix the players more securely to the bases. Otherwise, great fun and great quality.
These days, shopping from home means the internet, whereas back in the mid-60s it meant something else altogether. Shopping catalogues, the likes of Marshall Ward, Kay's, Littlewoods and John England, and many more could be found in homes across the country. These heavy tones offered just about everything you could think of, including fashion, on a pay-a-little-per-week basis, bringing easy credit and access to these little luxuries that we all love. But more importantly to us, they also carried toys and games. From 1967 onwards, they offered this wonderful mechanical game, Kasdan Soccer. Kasdan, based in Blackpool, was owned by the Cassidy family. I'm thrilled to say the company is still in Blackpool and still owned by the Cassidy family. Keith was lucky enough to be invited to head up to Blackpool, his family home, to meet with the owner Paul Cassidy, who explained how Kasdan Table Soccer came to be.
It had been in about the middle of 1966. It was obvious that, to us anyway, that a football game needed to be made, but not rather like the ones that were on the market at the time. And we'd use our engineering expertise to make something that was unique. So that's how it started.
It certainly is unique. What I'm interested in, the undulating pitch, which we see copied later on with games from Chad Valley and other international manufacturers.
Yeah.
Who on earth thought of that?
Joe Cassidy, my uncle.
And he must have had a reason. Why did he think this would be a great idea to have a cratered pitch? What was the thought behind it?
Because the ball automatically ran to the foot of the player. And the player was in the centre of that recess. So it did it automatically. And then you just dribbled it round and decided which way to flick it up the field.
Going back to the days of New Footy, football game manufacturers sought to get testimonials from the greatest stars of the day. And let's face it, there's no bigger star than this man here. Bobby Charlton, one of the survivors of the Munich air disaster, had rebuilt his career and by the mid-60s was one of the biggest stars in the world. Clearly, the Lionel Messi or Johan Cruyff of his day. But more than that, a true gentleman and an ambassador for the sport. We're not going to let this moment go without giving Paul Cassidy the opportunity to share with you how they persuaded Bobby Charlton to endorse their game.
It would have been about November, or perhaps late November.
66,
because that's when the hotel itself would be empty. The Blackpool Illuminations had finished, and it was safer for him to come and be reasonably on his own, well, not inundated with people. So Dad then took the product under his arm together with his brother Joe, who devised it, and headed off to the Imperial Hotel. Now the Imperial Hotel on a promenade is massive, it's huge, very wide, overlooking the beach. And there is a big corridor that runs the length of the hotel, and it's about 4 metres wide. So they would have turned left. And who should be coming towards them but Bobby Charlton on his own. So Dad went up to him, introduced himself, asked if he could spare a couple of minutes with them, and he said yes. So they went into an anteroom and then proceeded to show him the game, which he was excited about. He was very impressed with it. So, but Bobby was a gentleman. He did everything we wanted. When the actual discussion about royalties and things like that was, I don't know when that happened, but we paid him sixpence again.
Okay, I know I'm an old football romantic, but when Paul Cassidy's father bumped into Bobby Charlton in the Imperial Hotel Blackpool in November '66, Bobby Charlton had won the World Cup with England 5 months earlier. Can you imagine that happening today? You'd get nowhere near direct access to a player. There'd be managers and agents' fees, image rights, royalties, branding issues. And yet, Sir Bobby Charlton was willing to give two strangers some of his precious holiday time to discuss their brand new football game that hadn't even been released. What a true gentleman. So if Kasdan table soccer was good enough for Sir Bobby, it's good enough for us.
Oh, back to him.
There's a way through. That's the pass.
You git. I left it open for you. It went the wrong way.
It's full of excitement. You've got to do something. This is it. Go.
No, hang on. Wait, it's not right angle.
No, I can't believe that. Against a run of play. Kasdan Soccer was a big success. Kenny Dalglish followed Bobby Charlton, and then it was the turn of the England squad, perms and all. The game remained fundamentally the same. Why change a winning formula?
We will call that a draw. Shortly after Casdon came another mechanical pitch, this one from our old Birmingham-based friends, Chad Valley. Another created pitch and another big seller, Chad Valley Soccer Stadium. Oi!
Here it is, Soccer Stadium. Plastic figures operated by levers. They, as Danielle mentioned, also opted for an undulating pitch. Keeper is on a rod. The scoreboard on top of the goal. Here, one links the lever with the numbered player and can operate his kicking leg. Here we see the underside of the pitch and the cord running from the player to the numbered lever, compressing and releasing the spring.
Yes!
One fluke to nil.
Excuse me.
Oh, curses. Right, here we go. Coming straight back. No, not just.
Oh, that was a bit poop.
This is it.
Nope.
And he gets
don't
a second
think
chance.
So, don't think so.
Oh!
Nope.
This is it.
Nope.
No.
My goal is too good for you. Yes.
You.
I think this is my favourite
No,
one.
how are you stopping all these?
Oh, what was that?
Oh, did it cross the line? VAR, we
I
insist.
think it did.
That's the pass. And here we go. No! Come on. Oh, how costly. One each.
Gutted.
Right, it's my number 10, the ball juggling wizard. Oh.
Finally, in this feature, we have two similar games. The Chad Valley Football Stadium, which dates back to the 60s, and the American World Cup, this one from the 90s.
Unlike the Chad Valley game Danielle and I just played, this is Chad Valley Football Stadium rather than Soccer Stadium. So although the name is improved, the game is probably aimed at an even younger audience. The players are mounted in rubber mountings, which enable a spring action. This game now is quite old and some of the rubber mountings have corroded slightly. So it's not quite the game it was. But obviously We don't need to discuss rules. We don't need to discuss how it's played. Just a fun game for the family. Take it away from go.
Oh, I almost had you. Yes. Yes!
That cannot count.
Yeah, it went in. Oh, I almost had you again.
There's something wrong with this game.
There's always something wrong when you're not winning.
Ah, here we go. Finally, this is the shot that won the match.
Oh, that's too close. That's far too close.
Right, that's my first.
That's not even enough.
This final mechanical game from the 90s has the rather strange name of American World Cup. Now, on the face of it, I can't see anything that's particularly American about it, and neither can I see anything that directly relates to the World Cup. But hey ho, every game needs a name. Unlike our last game, these players are spring-loaded and pack a much bigger punch. It's actually rather an attractive setup and has a nice feel about it. One of the things I'd like to draw your attention to is the scoring system. At the rear of the floodlight here, you'll see we can turn a disc. And when we move to the other side, you'll see that as I do so, the score changes. How cool is that? Although, hang on, oh no, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go, I rather like that. Well, I hope you'll share my pain as I go back into the bear pit with Danielle. I promise you, she's more competitive than me and Smithy combined. The things I do. And... yes!
No, it didn't.
That's it. That's it.
You could have. But you
Oh, gotta be.
You didn't. You didn't. Oh, and she
And it was.
strikes and scores again.
Okay. Oh.
None of these games will compete with the likes of Subbuteo or Striker. However, they are often the place we first start to play table football. Oh, and just to be clear, I won.
Wait till you see the edit.
He always does that. I won.
Wait till you see the edit.
He always does that.
Oh, harsh, but true. Some months ago, I think it was in our August edition, we reviewed a striped Astro pitch from Pegasus and enjoyed it immensely. Well, this one is new, and you'll see the mowing pattern is circular with a more ornate pattern in the center circle. When I first saw a photograph of this, I thought I'm going to get a bit dizzy playing on that. But seeing it in the flesh, full size, I have to say it really is rather attractive. And within the stadium setting, it looks glorious. The texture of the pitch is wonderfully smooth. For player types such as these flat-based Sugo players, the pitch performs beautifully. We've only been playing with the pitch in the studio since Danielle and I laid it on Thursday evening. So we haven't had many minutes of play on it, but I have to say, my initial thoughts are that it really is fantastic. I like it. Last month, you may recall, we reviewed the Subbuteo Winter Edition pitch, and I happened to mention how great it would be if one of the manufacturers were to consider creating a muddy effect pitch of days gone by. Well, a couple of days later, Enrico Tecchiati of Astrobase in Italy got in touch, and he said, I've got an interesting pitch you might like to take a look at. And this is it. The pitch looks fantastic, and the effect is really well done, Whether you'd see it as a muddy pitch or a sun-scorched pitch is a matter of opinion. But it's a cotton flock on top of a thick cotton base. And it really does have a luscious, smooth, rich feel about it. So I think what we need to do is see how it performs. I've placed the same two Zugo teams on this pitch as we had on the Astro pitch earlier on. I don't think it's to achieve any kind of comparison, because one is a PVC backed Astro pitch, this one is cotton. But at least it gives some feel of how they perform. I really do like the way the players and the ball glide over this surface. I do like the way the shooting line is understated. You can see it clearly enough to know when you're inside it, but it doesn't shout out at you. This pioneer cotton football pitch is a real joy. It's very different to most of the pitches I get to play on. I like the finish of it. It feels different. It gives a different feel to the game, and it really is good quality. We've done well on pitches this month. We've managed to go most of the show without even mentioning that virus. But now we have a one-off. Smithy and I are going head-to-head in the inaugural one-off.
It's a knockout coronavirus Subbuteo challenge.
How about that? So this is pretty much like our normal Subbuteo challenge, only we're going head-to-head and we're using 5 players. The same 5 players of different types. Talk us through it, Smithy.
Right, the mighty West Ham consists of the heavyweight, the West Ham topspin, me flat, me Zugo and me trainer.
Right, and on the other side here, I've got the same with Manchester United and 1 Danish player.
Ollie put in, I reckon.
A visit from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that is because I don't have a topspin Manchester United. Right, so what we're going to do is the usual 4 challenges: to slide, spin, putt and chip. But after each round, we're going to use the tracksuited players that everybody in Subbuteo land says can't play. If they can score a 5-a-side goal, after each round, the competitor can double his score. Now, I'd like to say it's all in the name of fun, but it isn't, because Smithy and I are pretty competitive. But the winner of the...
It's a knockout coronavirus Subbuteo challenge.
That is such a catchy title. We'll walk away with this gorgeous Subbuteo paperweight.
Got my name written all over it, so.
You won't leave the building alive, mate. Okay, so this is it. Wish us well. No holes barred. May the best man win. I forgot to mention, each player chooses one of the player types for each round. They can only be used once.
Can I say thank you for telling me that?
Andrew Smith on the oche using his Zugo West Ham player. Play.
Go on, son. Here we go.
Definitely a 1.
That's a 1.
Shot 2.
Oh, no, not again.
Oh,
1.
hang on. The jury are allowing that as a 1.
Thank you very much.
Final shot.
Thank you. 1 again.
3 scored.
Keith Littler's on the oche for his first slide using the heavyweight.
Thank you.
That's a 5.
That's a 5. Fluky start.
Second slide. I'll say that's a 5. It's not looking good.
It's only round 1, Timothy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 1. 11.
11 scored. Smithy with his Joker shot. Tracksuited player.
And it probably will be a joke. No. Right, Littler, round 1 Joker. Here we go.
Right in the middle. That was
Yeah.
rubbish. And 0 for me.
Well, that went well.
So Smithy, with his top spin hammer, is ready to take on the dreaded spin. Shot 1.
Here we go. How was that?
Shot 2.
Gonna go for the reverse.
Okay. That'll teach
Oh, I
you.
bet that hurt.
And shot 3.
He fell over. Here goes Keith now with his flat on the spin.
Right, Smithy, you've left me a bit of a target.
I think so. It's going to be hard to catch that one. Oh, he's failed on the first one. Second try. Oh, no.
Oh, double trouble.
Last go. Oh!
Little header.
VAR.
3 points. I'm not quite sure how we double naught.
It's going to be tricky.
So should we allow you 1?
If
you
I get it, I get 1 point, yeah.
Okay, so for the Joker, second time round, the tracksuited player, Mr. Andrew Smith.
Thank you.
Yes! 1 point for Mr. Smith.
So it's Keith's second joker with a massive total of 1 to beat. Off you go, son. Oh, he's blown it.
Oh! 0 for me. Smithy goes for the putt. Having already used his Zugo player and his topspin player, we are saying hello to the West Ham flat.
Hello.
It's all yours, Smithy.
Thank you very much. Oh.
Oh, a little bit of a change of direction. Shot 2.
And the other side.
Well, there's only one bit left. That's the one in the
Straight
middle.
down the
mate.
middle. Go on, son. Straight down the middle.
This has got to be it. Here
Yep.
we go. Yes.
Yes.
3 points for Smithy.
So, Keith's on the hockey now with his top spin. He's already used his flat and his heavyweight. Take it away, son. 3 to beat. Oh,
Wow.
first go. Second try. Yep, give you that.
Oh.
3 points. Oh, he's done it. Oh,
Oh, nearly
6
came
points
out.
for Littler.
6. This will be Smithy's third attempt at the Joker. Having scored 3 in the putting round, if he gets this one in, he will double his score to 6.
Here we go then.
Now, Smithy, close the gap. Oh, didn't make it in. Unlucky.
Right, round 3 for the Joker shot. Mr. Littler on the hockey. Hasn't scored on this yet. Take it away, son.
Right, it's only been charity. This is going to be it.
You reckon?
Yeah.
No. Yes, he's
Oh,
done it. He's
we
only
double
done
6,
it.
that's 12. The reason Zugo players were included in this challenge was so they would be of some help when it came to the chip. In round 1, Smith, in a tactical masterclass, used
My
his
Zugo.
his Zugo player, which means he'll be attempting this last round with a heavyweight and proving that he is a knob.
Thank you very much.
Shot 1. Unlucky.
Ah.
Unlucky. Bit of lift. Hammers the heavyweight second shot. Oh, it lifted
Oh,
again a little
slightly
bit.
lifted.
Tell you what, if there'd been an ant there, it would have gone over
That's
him.
it.
And the final shot. Here we go. Come on, in it goes. Yes, it does, but it
I
hit
think
the
it caught
bar
the
on the
ball,
way
yeah.
in.
Oh.
That's 3 instead of 5.
Right, predictable Littler on the chip now, using his Zugo player.
This is going to be embarrassing
Wise
if I
choice.
mess this up. Here we go. Crossbar? What kind of result is that?
Well done, crossbar.
A little bit disappointed, gotta say.
So you should have gone for heavyweight.
Oh, the pressure's on.
Struggling, he's struggling.
Not going to live this down, Smithy.
Here
Got to
we
put
go.
1 in.
Final shot. Oh, crossbar
2
again.
crossbars. Can you believe it? 0 for me. Smith's final go with the Joker. He has scored 1 of these so far. This will double his chip score of 3 to 6. Make it happen, Smithy.
Well, I did have
We're
a
all behind you.
I did have a choice of 5 jokers.
Oh, desperately close. As we set a precedent with Smithy last time when he scored 0, I think, on the spin, we allowed him 1 if he scored in the marathon. So the same will apply now, unless Smithy kicks off.
I will do if you get this in. No,
Oh!
he's missed it. Oh, beautiful to watch.
Wow, have you ever seen so much rubbish? Had they invited me, I would have beaten them both. Now, who's the winner? We've got Smithy with 10
Whoa!
Thank
and
you.
Keith with 32.
Yes!
Oh.
So
Yes!
the winner is Keith.
Oh, I don't know what to say.
Hooray.
We'll censor that right now. Thank you very much. What a shocking and disturbing moment that was. Right, that despicable display of Subbuteo incompetence replaced the traditional Subbuteo challenge. With the coronavirus, it just wasn't feasible to get a challenger in this month. Now, also related to the coronavirus, there are 2 features that we can't fit into this month's edition. So, the Argentinian 78 World Cup and a rather gorgeous piece on Subbuteo goals. I'm not in the programme now, but I'll edit them up during the week as I'm bound to have a bit of time on my hands, and I'll upload them before next weekend. Now, I know life is a bit topsy-turvy, but let's give a little cheer because it's competition time. Right, you'll remember earlier in the programme we discussed Kasdan Soccer, and I showed you a box lid of the England Squad edition. If you want to enter this month's competition, I need to know who these 4 England players are from left to right. I can hear some of you cheering and thinking, that sounds quite straightforward. Just be grateful we're not asking for the names of these 2 little ones as well. So yes, the competition is name these 4 England players from left to right. Send your answers, if you will, to the usual email address across the bottom here. I know I'm going to bore you to death saying this every month, but please don't put your answers in the comment section below the video because it does rather ruin the fun for everybody else. So what are you going to win if you know who those 4 players are? Well, earlier I demonstrated this Astrobase Starter Kit, which is a rather splendid thing. I'm going to give you a reminder of what it's all about now in my best Sale of the Century voice. This attractive starter set will give you Manchester City and Liverpool heavyweights, 2 goalkeepers, a timer, 4 balls and 2 kicking goalkeepers, plus polishing cloth in a very attractive case. Well, hopefully you'll agree it's a cool thing to have. So if you want to win it next month, all you have to do is enter the competition. Well, that just about wraps it up, except to say thank you for bearing with us. I'm sorry the upload was late, but it was due to the same circumstances we're all suffering at the moment. But we made it. That's the important thing. We will see you next month. Normally, I would finish the programme from our Table Football Monthly desk, but there's a good reason why I'm not.
You'll pick up.
Oh,
Oh, then.
see you next month.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Some folk get it too easy. Well, that wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching. We do appreciate it. Thanks for heeding Danielle's plea last month for shares and to subscribe, because those numbers really do help keep our programme free for us all. Thank you so much, and do look after yourselves. See you next month.
I got the World Cup edition back in '72. Man, I was king of the hill. Had the guys over and we played all day. I made the final, but I lost 2-0. And those were the days. Yeah, those were the days. Tired of being a grown-up, wanna throw it away. I said, Smithy, let's set up and play.